When she is 87 years old, she finally mentions Robert Redford. On December 21, 1937, Jane Seymour Fonda was born in New York City. Jane Fonda is her more well-known name. She was in the spotlight right away because she was the daughter of renowned Hollywood actor Henry Fonda and woman Frances Ford Seymour. Despite having a happy upbringing, she had a difficult journey. Since childhood, Jane has had a great deal of grief and mental health issues. When Jane was 12 years old, her mother committed herself, which was the worst thing that happened. Her emotional life and much of her subsequent work were greatly influenced by this incident, both as a public figure who advocated for social reform, personal development, and introspection, and as an actor who portrayed complex, troubled characters. As a child, Jane attended prestigious schools like Emma Willard and Vassar College, but she discovered her true calling, acting, in Paris and then at the Actors Studio, where Lee Strasberg trained her. She debuted on Broadway in 1960. She immediately demonstrated that she was more than just a well-known last name when she transitioned into the film industry. Her versatility and innate charm were demonstrated in early films such as Tall Story, 1960, and Cat Ballou, 1965. Her parts in Barefoot in the Park, 1967, and Barbarella, 1968, the latter of which was directed by her then-husband Roger Vadim, made her one of Hollywood's most well-known actresses by the late 1960s. She became a global sex idol thanks to Barbarella, but it also placed her in a box that she would later struggle to break when she attempted to establish herself as a serious, socially conscious actor. The 1970s marked a significant turning point in Jane Fonda's life and career. She became deeply active in politics and social engagement after growing dissatisfied with only being viewed as a gorgeous celebrity. Because she opposed the Vietnam War, fought for civil rights, and supported women's concerns, she was one of the most divisive figures of her era. She was plagued for decades by the infamous Hanoi Jane photo she snapped in North Vietnam in 1972, which caused misunderstanding and rage. Even her most ruthless adversaries, however, were unable to dispute her courage or her commitment to morality. Later on, Jane would acknowledge that her actions were complicated and express regret for some of her decisions, but she would remain dedicated to human rights and peace. Fonda's acting abilities continued to improve during this period. Her versatility and depth of heart were demonstrated by her Oscar-winning performances in Coming Home, 1978, and Klute, 1971. As a call girl enmeshed in a web of mystery in Klute, she played one of the decade's most eerily precarious performances. She portrayed the wife of a soldier who develops feelings for a disabled Vietnam veteran in the film Coming Home. Her political enlightenment and empathy for the harsh realities of war were expressed in the character. Through these roles, she gained recognition as one of the greatest actors of her era and as a woman who wasn't scared to let her art represent her values. Jane Fonda became more well-known outside of Hollywood in the 1980s. Jane Fonda became a rock celebrity after her trailblazing workout business began in 1982 with the introduction of her book, Jane Fonda's Workout. Millions of women were empowered to take charge of their bodies and health thanks to the video, which also revolutionized the fitness industry. She leveraged her celebrity to advocate for health, body positivity, and aging gracefully, and her workout cassettes sold over 1 million copies worldwide. This shift demonstrated Fonda's ability to remain loyal to herself while adjusting to new circumstances, demonstrating her courage, determination, and social awareness. Jane Fonda made an incredible recovery in her senior years. She gained new fans when she returned to acting thanks to roles in films like Monster-in-Law, 2005, and Youth, 2015, as well as her well-reviewed role alongside Lily Tomlin in the Netflix series Grace and Frankie, 2015 to 2022. Off-screen, she remained an activist, focusing on social justice, women's rights, and climate change. During her Fire Drill Friday's climate protests in Washington, D.C. in her 80s, she was detained multiple times, demonstrating that her desire for change remained unwavering. These days, Jane Fonda is a symbol of strength, transformation, and belief. She transitioned from being a controversial activist to a well-liked older stateswoman for progressive causes, and from being a young Hollywood actress to winning an Academy Award. Through her work, bravery, and gentle grace, she has inspired many individuals to reflect, develop, and strive for a better society. More than just a performer, Jane Fonda is a living example of the strength of kindness, change, and honesty. Her illuminating legacy pays tribute to a woman who never lost the will to live fearlessly, think critically, and speak up in order to change the world. Jane Fonda's private life has been as lively and well-known as her well-known career. This is particularly true of her marriages, which each represented a distinct period of her life, a change in her priorities, and a change in her values. French film director and screenwriter Roger Vadim was the first man she married. In 1965, they were married. Vadim helped Fonda into the international film market early on because he was already well known for his work in European cinema and his previous relationships. In addition to wanting to become artists and gain more knowledge about society, they were incredibly in love. Vadim's European sensibilities and avant-garde filming style influenced Fonda's, which she used to manage the glamour and grime of a budding Hollywood career. After 8 years of marriage, they divorced in 1973, despite the fact that they were initially drawn to and enthusiastic about their relationship. This demonstrates how challenging it is to strike a balance in a public connection between personal fulfillment, professional objectives, and cultural differences. Fonda's second marriage, to publicly active Tom Hayden, took place in 1973, shortly after her divorce from Vadim. Fonda had a different kind of companion in Hayden, a prominent political and social activist and a major figure in the New Left movement. He blended his efforts to promote social change with his personal life. In 1990, their 17-year marriage came to an end. Fonda's increased political involvement during that period demonstrates her and her husband's strong commitment to topics like social justice, feminism, and ending the Vietnam War. Together, they overcame the challenges of public life and action, frequently under the constant scrutiny of the media, which occasionally tested their partnership. Their relationship was indicative of an age that sought to blend private and public spheres. Despite their eventual divorce, Fonda's marriage had a significant impact on her convictions and dedication to social and political activity, which grew to be just as significant to her as her acting career. Fonda's third spouse was Ted Turner, a media tycoon. In 1991, they were married. Turner, a billionaire businessman and the creator of the Turner Broadcasting System, helped bring together two prominent and influential public characters. When they were married, Turner's media influence and economic empire combined with Fonda's creative and political aspirations to create a highly publicized alliance. The demands of celebrity, their disparate lives, and the constant public attention made their marriage challenging, despite their shared concern for solving world issues and assisting others. Another significant chapter in Fonda's personal life came to an end in 2001 when they divorced after 10 years of dating. This marriage demonstrated Fonda's ability to manage connections with influential people while remaining loyal to herself and pursuing her activist and corporate objectives. Roger Vadim, Ted Turner, and Tom Hayden are the three husbands of Jane Fonda. Her personal life demonstrates how she has evolved throughout time, incorporating love and personal development into her broader goals of empowerment, activism, and creativity while learning from each relationship. Despite the fact that each relationship ended in divorce, they all contributed to her personal and public development. It permanently altered her public memory as well as her personal path. At the age of 87, Jane Fonda finally opened up about her relationship with Robert Redford, a longtime friend and Hollywood legend whose passing has left those closest to him thinking and remembering him with great fondness. Fonda, who is renowned for being courageous, candid, and encouraging, spoke candidly about how much she liked and admired Redford as a person and as an actor, providing people with hitherto unheard facts. She said that her relationship with Robert went beyond simple friendship. We never discussed our profound knowledge. It resulted from years of collaboration, experiencing the highs and lows of Hollywood, and witnessing one another's development as individuals and professionals. Fonda made it apparent in her remarks that she and Redford had a relationship founded on mutual respect, a feeling of artistic integrity, and an understanding of the unique authenticity he brought to each role, endeavor, and discussion. Fonda recalled how Redford's presence always made them feel inspired, protected, and at ease during their early days in the industry. "When I met Robert for the first time, he had this rare mix of humility and quiet confidence," she recalled. "It was impossible not to feel comfortable around him. They were aware that their presence, words, and labor had an impact. In this manner, he was able to truly glimpse people's inner selves. Furthermore, that degree of attention is uncommon in both Hollywood and real life." Her remarks demonstrate that, in addition to appreciating his professional achievements, she also recognized how his integrity, consideration, and decency impacted his relationships and made a lasting influence on those who knew him. Fonda also discussed how their creative collaboration transformed her life. "Working with Robert always helped me get better at what I do. Without demeaning you, he could test your limits and delve deeper into your personality. He did this while giving you a sense of security and encouragement. That's a really unique quality in a coworker, and I cherished having it." Her remarks highlighted the mentoring-like nature of their friendship and showed that Redford's influence extended beyond their time together on film to the very foundation of Fonda's artistic process. She emphasized that his encouragement and insightful critique had influenced some of her most well-received performances and would permanently alter her career. According to Fonda's recollections, their friendship went beyond business. They were also kind and devoted individuals. "You could rely on Robert in more than simply movies. Everybody could. He was loyal, kind, and truthful in ways that are becoming less typical. He made you feel valued and seen simply by being you." Her remarks highlight how uncommon it is to have an honest buddy who is always there for you in Hollywood. Redford's dedication to environmental and social problems demonstrated to Fonda that he was not only a gifted actor but also a man who genuinely wished to improve the world. She stated, "He didn't just talk about making a difference, he did it." Whoa, that was incredibly inspiring. I'll never forget that. Fonda concluded by discussing the void his passing has created in both her life and the art community at large. "When Robert passes away, I feel like I've lost a piece of what we created together in Hollywood. An essential component of being decent, imaginative, and honest. I am grateful for all of our conversations, our collaborations, and the times we shared knowledge and laughed. I shall never forget his kindness, his talent, and his spirit." Her remarks serve as both an homage to Redford's life and contributions and an example of how they will endure. It blends the remembrance of one of the most renowned performers in film history with a very personal tale. In addition to paying tribute to Robert Redford by coming out at the age of 87, Jane Fonda demonstrates to the world the profound, enduring bonds that can result from a life devoted to art, activism, and genuine human connection. Her reflections offer us a rare glimpse into the intimate aspects of a relationship that transcended the glamour and glitz of Hollywood. They exhibit the affection, deference, and enduring awe that characterized their relationship.